How do you think, while we're on the topic, how do you think we can improve toxicity in pro wrestling? Because there's only enough times where we could just keep telling that person to just be a good person for once, you know?
Being a good person does not much. Some people will use that as a crutch. You know who else called themselves a really good person? Zayn, and you saw the stuff that he did. I'm not talking about Zany Marks, even though he too has been guilty of some things. He hasn't been doing anything lately, from what I can tell. But the Zayn who ran ECW, he always referred to himself as a nice person. Always, left and right. Oh, Zayn is such a nice guy. How could he do such a thing? These people, it doesn't matter if you're nice. It's about being morally, knowing your having morals. You know, um, if you see something, call it out, no matter what. That's what a friend does. A real friend wouldn't let some terrible stuff just go by like that. Um, and certain people need to learn that in terms of friend groups. I think a lot of people in pro wrestling just they need to realize that this is a game because people take it more serious than I do. The only reason why you see me celebrating the stuff that I do is when it happens. You know, like I'm not left and right in kayfabe on Twitter. Half the time I'm tweeting about Avalanche games or how mad I am at the Broncos. That's it. Or just something random like that. It's not always Roblox wrestling left and right. If it happens, yeah, I'll mention it. It's cool. It's something that happened that is noteworthy for me personally. This is not law. People need to realize that people are entitled to their opinions, and even though it's not the positive opinion, doesn't mean that it's a wrong one. You know, or just because the opinion doesn't have a lot of support doesn't mean that it's wrong. Um, I think people need to separate themselves and be a little more be more themselves and be more of an individual instead of being associated with a pack. And I'm not talking about like the associating as a league or a unstable, nothing like that. Just in general as a person. Okay, there's a lot of people in the APOS who are just themselves, you know, outside of pro wrestling, and I wish more people would do that because they view it as a game. Sure, we do our best to win at it. We'll work on every like from the Tron that take me for example. I'm 23. I still play this to a high level. Make it. You see the Tron that I have, the theme music, the attires, the fan shirts, everything else. But that's fun. It's entertaining for me, and it's hurting nobody in the process. It's fun because it's the things that I would want to see out of my favorite wrestler, Edge. You know, and that's the main reason why I'm still on here because it's fun. People need to get back to that. I just so happen to be deemed one of the best in the community right now because of the year that I had last year. Was that the goal? Sure. But at the same time, on that same token, I could still say, even if I was losing some of those matches, I got to spend time with a lot of people that I enjoyed spending my time with, and I could have fun. I just happened to have a breakout year last year, thank God, because um, that is always fun winning. But some people really go off the deep end when they lose, and that's where some of the toxicity begins. I see people saying stuff about their families and everything else when they lose a match to their opponent. And that's why I'm such a low key person. I would dare mention things that happen in my real life on this site to these people, knowing what happens when people have that knowledge. They just use it as a crutch to get over, to make you look or feel bad because they lost something. I may lose, but you'll never see me flip out to that extent, trying to harm people's livelihoods and hurt them personally and stuff like that. Have I done in the past? Yeah. I was extremely young then. I'll own up to that. But nothing to the point that you see now are people insulting like relatives who are passed or just or things like that. I've seen a lot of people do that and it's sick. So and they I guess maybe they just forget that this is an actual game, you know? So I don't know. I think a lot of people need to before they judge someone else for what they're doing, look in the mirror and see what are you doing? And are you insulting them because you're just that bothered by their life or in that they're kind of in a happy place and you're not? Or are you doing it because you want them to look at you and pay attention to you and notice you and things like that? I can't tell you how many times people have said something vile and bad about me, then I confront them on it, and they're just a completely different person because I've always wanted to meet me. And I shit you not, that's happened. And it's just the culture. It's not the culture, but certain people do that, and it sucks. You know, it needs to stop. But I don't know when it will, because this is a community where I'm not the first person to say it. I'm just one of the many people who have said it, and we're still talking about it today. So you see how those talks have done in the past couple of years.
Thanks for watching that video, and hey, if you like what you see, we've got tons of content right here on the Roblania Network. We hope you like, comment, and subscribe.